Welcome to the Hilton Head Island Computer Club Wireless Basics video presentation. This video will cover home computer wireless networking basics using 802.11 networking protocols. The following topics are an overview of the areas that will be covered in this video so that you may successfully implement your wireless networking. We will cover wired traditional network topography, wireless network topography, the network standards that are available for your use currently, wireless connection types, wireless network security, configuring your wireless networking configuration, extending a wireless network if you have to go beyond the 100 or 150 feet that the traditional access points cover. We'll cover some basic wireless troubleshooting techniques and finish up with recommendations. This slide shows a traditional network topography for a simple home wired network. On the left you have your internet, which is accessed through your cable or DSL supplier, phone line or cable line, through a cable or DSL modem and wired to your PC with a Cat5 data cable. This illustrates the most common typical user internet connection today. This diagram shows a simple home wireless network. Again, you have the ISP internet on the left, connected by a cable or DSL line through your cable or DSL modem. In the wireless case, now your Cat5 connection connects to the wireless access point or router. You then in turn hook your PC via another Cat5 cable to the wireless access point or router. Most wireless access points and routers have a built-in switch or hub which you can connect the PC to perform your configuration. Wireless devices, i.e. laptops and so on, will then connect through a radio signal as illustrated here. We will now review several of the wireless network standards that are available today. We'll review the most popular and prevalent around. The first is the 802.11b. It communicates on the 2.4 gigahertz frequency, which is the common consumer frequency. Intercoms, wireless phones, etc. use these frequencies also. Maximum data transmission rate is 11 megabits. This is the design rate. However, you will typically get 70 to 80% of this in most cases. Indoor range is about 150 feet. This also will vary extensively depending upon your construction of the walls and the obstructions between you and the wireless access point. It has very weak security. It uses WEP, which is Wired Equivalence Protocol, up to 128 bits. It's very common and inexpensive. The next standard is 802.11a. It's not as common as 802.11b. It's quite a bit more expensive than 802.11b. It communicates in the 5 gigahertz frequency, which is the higher consumer frequency that some cell phones and consumer electronics are using. However, it's less crowded. The maximum data transmission rate is 54 megabits a second. It's not backward compatible with 802.11b, however, and its range is only 75 feet. It also shares weak security as it uses WEP encryption also. Next is the 802.11g protocol. This is more common than 802.11a, and today it's becoming more prevalent than 802.11b also. It communicates on the 2.4 megahertz frequency. It is backwards compatible with 802.11b because it uses the 2.4 megahertz frequency. Maximum data transmission rate is 54 megabits a second. It has good indoor range of about 125 feet, but again, this will vary with the conditions of the building that it's in, as the transmission rate also will vary. You seldom will get 54 megabits a second. It also uses improved security using the WPA encryption, which is Wi-Fi protected access. 802.11n is the new protocol being proposed. It will not be formally improved until 2008. It communicates on the 2.4 megahertz or the 5 megahertz frequency. It's backward compatible with 802.11b, g, and a. Its maximum data transmission rate is 540 megabits a second. It has good indoor range of about 165 feet. It utilizes a technology called MIMO, multiple input, multiple output. Simply said, it uses multiple transmissions on multiple antennas to multiple receivers to try to increase speed. It has improved security of WPA2, and one thing to keep in mind, it is a draft specification this time. It's not approved, and if you buy one, you have no guarantee it will work later. Now I'll move on to the wireless network connection modes. There is ad hoc mode and infrastructure mode. Ad hoc mode is seldom used, but it will connect two PCs to each other like a piece of wire, but does not allow any network access. In this demonstration, we're not going to touch on that any more than tell you what it is. Infrastructure mode is the mode that's commonly implemented. It allows access to the network from your wireless access point, and the PCs can communicate to each other or any other device on the network along with the internet. Wireless networking security options are probably the most important item to pay attention to. They are the least configured and the most vulnerable area for the typical wireless user. The topics we'll cover are router passwords, the SSID or your wireless access point ID, the authentication options available, the wired equivalence, privacy, security keys, the Wi-Fi protected access key, WPA, and MAC filtering. Your router's password should always be changed without exception. You should change your router's default password. In the case of Linksys, it is admin, or anybody that knows what Linksys is will be able to get in and change your router. Use a password of at least 6 characters and include alpha, punctuation, and numbers in the password so that it will be hard for someone to guess. The router's SSID is the name of the wireless network. Wireless access networks are configured a default SSID. For example, Linksys is Linksys, Netgear is Netgear. SSID broadcasting is also enabled by default. You should always change the name of your SSID. You shouldn't use personal identifying names for the SSID. Choose an SSID that's meaningful to you, but a stranger will not recognize it as your house, your name, etc. If you want further security, you can disable the SSID broadcasting. However, this will make it difficult for you to hook up to the wireless access point, as you'll have to enter this information on your portable device before connecting.